Hey, this is Billy.
This is Wayne.
This is Dan.
And you're listening to the Faulty Logics podcast. So today we'll be talking about the Nintendo Switch, but before we get to that, we want to kind of just address some things from, I guess, the previous episodes / podcasts.
What was the previous episode?
The weddings.
Yeah, the last one, the wedding one, the audio was kind of a bit off. It was a bit quiet. So
Whose fault was that, Billy?
Well, that's because my shitty editing. I didn't know to equalize the sound and stuff. So
And Billy, what happened in the end when there was no sound at all?
I don't know. That was a mistake.
I finally took the time to listen. I'm like, fuck, what happened?
You know what this means? This means that no one listened to it fully, and you're the only one who listened to it.
Yeah, people, listen to it fully and give us feedback. We need the feedback to make sure we're doing something that's aight.
Yeah, because we kind of suck.
Agreed.
Okay, so the Nintendo. So Nintendo, I think last week, so probably October 21st-ish came out.
Is this podcast going out this week?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's coming out. We're talking about Nintendo Switch that was announced late October. Let's say late October. This is all going into the podcast. Everyone's going to know our mistakes. It's fine.
All right, fine. So they basically announced their new console, which is kind of like a mix between the Wii, the Wii U? Portable thing? Little handheld thing, and then a docking station.
You can't say that. It's got the best of both worlds.
I don't know, man.
Home console and portability, which is fucking genius.
At the same time.
I think we have varying opinions on stuff like this. Yeah, I think it was just something our phones can do.
Does your phone have a controller?
It can.
But does it?
But it takes up the screen.
Yeah, but this thing, you gotta probably buy the controller separately.
No, I'm pretty sure the whole set comes together.
They're gonna give you one little thing, and then you're gonna have to buy every peripheral to it.
You know what? It's Nintendo, and because it's not like Xbox and Sony where you have to buy something and then there's DLCs, which is, for people who don't know what DLC are, it's
downloadable content.
Shit, just made myself look like.
So you don't know what the DLC is. Okay, so if you look at the pictures, there is a main console, so it looks like a little tablet thing with a dock on it.
Mm-hmm.
The dock actually is not anything. All it does is charge the tablet portion of it.
I don't know.
No, that's what the dock does.
I think that also connects it to the TV.
Yeah, I think that's actually when you plug it in, that's console mode.
There's no like graphics card or something intense.
It's all inside.
It's inside the tablet, but I mean, like when I saw this, I was expecting when you put the tablet on the dock for it to be like 5 times more powerful, because the dock is almost equal in thickness and size.
But that's the thing about Nintendo, because they're not like Xbox and PlayStation where they're focusing on like
that's why they suck.
The best graphics. It's all about gameplay.
Yeah, but that's why you gotta surprise your audience. Like this is our badass new crap. Like trying to not only get the casual gamers, but the.
But all their games are kind of like cartoony anyways, so you don't need that super high graphic, right?
When you look at this, is basically what they did was they took the Wii, made it a little bit smaller, not more powerful, but small enough now that you can take it outside your house. That's basically what it is now, which is amazing.
I like that element of it, but I think the reason why I feel like those non-cartoony games aren't on Nintendo is because they can't handle their hardware can't handle it.
Seriously, Billy, stop trashing on our childhood right now. Nintendo is what we grew up on,
but
okay?
I think also because Nintendo doesn't really want to go in that direction. Like, all those super high graphics games are like Call of Duty, Black Ops, all those things. They're focused on a lot of one-player game. Whereas with Nintendo, the style of the games they have are types of games where they bring people together to play together. Rather than sit at home, play over Wi-Fi, Call of Duty, Black Ops, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think their focus is on the graphics. It's about the gameplay.
Yeah, gameplay.
And bringing people together.
That's what everyone's always talking about, because up to maybe N64 is generally the same. Then they came up with the Wii, which is, that's revolutionary.
And that was a pun on Wii, like Wii Play.
Oh, shit.
I didn't know that too.
Mind blown. I didn't know that. Is that for real? Or you just made that up?
I'm pretty sure that was what it was.
Oh, they see you made that. I was like, wait, really? Okay, alright.
I was like, shit. I'm like, fuck, Nintendo is deep.
Yeah.
Right now.
Never knew.
I'm pretty sure they are that deep.
No, but yeah, so
that's why they call their little dudes Miis.
Miis?
Yeah, you make the little figurine of yourself. Yeah, their avatar. They call them Miis.
I didn't know they had a name.
I didn't know that.
I thought they were just avatars.
Maybe Nintendo's marketing team just is like really bad.
They just got lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the Wii, and then we had Nintendo DS, which is pretty fucking cool too, right? There's nothing powerful like the what was it? PlayStation PS? Was it PlayStation?
PSP.
Yeah, PSP. It wasn't powerful like that, but you didn't need it for it to be that powerful because it just had fun games.
What have you actually played on it? The only games I have played on those the DS is like Pokemon, and that's all I've played on it.
But
on the
Pokemon
DS?
wasn't on DS though, was it?
Yeah,
But it didn't start on the DS. It started on Game Boy.
I know, but that's the only thing I've ever played on a DS is Pokemon. I tried to like play what are those Cooking Mama?
Yeah.
What?
The court one? What's that? Phoenix?
Oh,
Phoenix Core?
Phoenix Wright?
Yeah,
Phoenix
that
Wright,
thing.
yeah.
That was amazing.
There was the
Professor Layton?
Professor Layton. Yeah, that was like
tight.
doctor or something.
You know what's great? Elite Beat Agents, which is pretty much
Dance Dance Revolution.
yeah. That shit's
Okay, I tried playing those.
Brain
I was
Age.
so bored.
yeah. Brain Age was good.
They're so boring. You only
Elite
play
Beat Agents.
all those games.
You
You play
beat
for like an hour.
Elite Beat Agents, then you go to the hardcore mode, which is the Japanese version. I can't remember the name, but it was pretty tight too. Japanese always make it harder. Since our topic today is Nintendo, because you know what? Nintendo is part of our lives. It's been around for a really long time. I want to know what game was memorable for you guys on Nintendo when you were a kid. Because you know what? I'm sure everyone who's listening to us can relate to it.
Well, of course we have all the classics and everything that like
But just
everyone
that
remembers.
one game.
But
Is it Double Dragon?
I
Is it
can't.
Mega Man? Is it Kirby?
I'll list 3 games that I really liked.
Man, you
Okay,
remember
first of
3
all,
games, that's a lot of games.
like Super Smash Bros. 64 was definitely an all-time favorite of mine, but that's like an all-time favorite for everybody. Okay.
That's too new for me.
I really liked WrestleMania 2000 for the 64.
What the fuck is that?
I couldn't play. You know what? Those wrestling games are so hard.
I
to
think
me.
WrestleMania 2000 was the best wrestling game ever made. Ever. Just because of the gameplay of it and how the players were controlled. It's not like these shitty ones that come
I
out
might have
now.
played that. I remember playing like a wrestling game back then. It was pretty fun because you had to take chairs and
Yeah.
smash it on people.
Basically.
Part of WrestleMania.
Yeah,
And then
that's fun.
I think the other game that I had for the Super Nintendo, I don't know if a lot of people know about this game. Leave in the comments if you've ever played this game before. But it was called Booger Man. I got this for my birthday from just a friend.
You must have hated them after that.
It was the funniest
Booger
game
Man.
ever.
Sounds like a terrible
It's
game.
it's basically kind of like a Super Mario like side
Booger Man or
scroller.
Boogie Man?
Booger Man.
Yeah, it sounds like a
So-
terrible game.
It's basically like a Super Mario side scroller game back in the day. And rather than throwing fireballs and stuff like that, he'll flick his boogers out and like kill monsters.
There was a lot of side-scrolling games. I remember playing like Power Ranger ones, Spider-Man ones.
There's a Power Ranger game.
Yeah, there's a Power
Yeah,
Ranger
yeah.
one.
I remember a Spider-Man game.
X-Men.
I hated it though.
That was really the Spider-Man game was really freaking hard.
X-Men, Ninja Turtles, The Simpsons.
Oh, you know what's great? Bubble. How you?
Oh my god, it's so like
Yeah. No, wait. The thing is, you guys are younger than me. You guys didn't play the Nintendo Entertainment System, like, because you guys probably started off the Super NES, right? Or the 64.
The first system I had was the SNES, but it did play the NES because my cousin had it.
I remember seeing the
NES.
older one, yeah, and I saw the square controller. I'm like, what is this garbage? Like, it's so ugly.
A lot, and you know what? They have that for as iPhone cases, but I don't think a lot of people understand those.
No,
those
I think they
cases.
do. So
They have it
the
for-
people I see are usually older.
They have it
No.
for belt buckles too, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's
yeah,
tight.
yeah.
But yeah, anyways, Bubble was fucking amazing.
Bubble was like so boring.
Well, tell me, you got a little cute dragon blowing bubbles. You jump
That's-
on the bubble.
That was like those like games you played back then when you have nothing else to play because that's how bored you are to play it.
How about Dr. Mario?
You know, it was fun.
Dr. Mario is really fucking hard.
Yeah. No,
It's really. Have you played that?
Yeah.
The hardest one where it's all the way up to the top and you have to like break your way down.
But you know what? After Dr. Mario was fun at the time, but now that I think about it, it's pretty fucking sick because you're playing with pills. What kind of kids are playing with pills?
It's pretty funny.
That's probably like
I have to
setting
say,
them up to take drugs in the future.
I have to say though, they don't make games like they used to. Like back in the day, those games are hard as hell.
Yeah, you can only play for a certain amount of lives.
Yeah, and then if the game's over, it's game over.
Yeah.
Start from the beginning.
And you know what? We
You
don't
get a cheat code. You gotta get those cheat codes.
Yeah, because you know you could pay what $10-20 back then for a walkthrough just so the game.
Oh, the magazine.
Yeah. Normally it's like for
Shitty.
RPG games.
Man, if you're that one kid with the freaking magazine, everyone's like, "Oh shit, he has the magazine. We got a card, borrow from
or
him."
the
No.
Game Shark.
Oh yeah, because there's walkthroughs and then there's Game Shark. Game Shark is the cheating one.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
think there was a Game Shark device that you have to attach to it.
I only knew one guy with a Game Shark.
He's a cool guy though, right?
I don't know, man, but only one guy had it. I would think more people would have it.
Our lives were hard back then with the NES because we didn't have memory cartridge until
the PlayStation.
PlayStation came out, right? Because no one had memory cards. Because back then, if you want to continue on a spot, you have to write down this code.
Yeah,
that they leave
long
you.
Ass code. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So pretty much, sometimes you could randomly like throw something in. And
it's not worth it too sometimes because if you fuck it up, it doesn't give you that code. Because there's one game I played. I think it was on a train or something.
On a train.
Yeah, every time you make it past a certain point, they give you a new random code every time. If you type it wrong, it resets the code. It's like, what the shit?
But that's your phone. It's like generating stuff and then storing it. That's why they can do it. But back then, it was a set code for that game. For that specific spot, for that specific number of lives that you have left. But then also, we had some messed up games too. There was a casino game. I don't know what's the point, yeah. Just so you can play blackjack.
Oh.
And then
that's basically what they have now, online poker. That's what online poker is, right?
I guess you're just getting yourself set up.
But so the game that I remember playing the most as a kid was I think it was Final Fantasy 4 or something.
Well, I don't think I played 4.
Never played
I think
4?
it went from 2 and skipped till 7.
I remember because it was like turn-based and you also have to move in a grid form or something.
No, that's
like really old school Final Fantasy.
I think it was the one where they went to the moon.
Boom. Don't they all go to the moon?
No, they don't all go to the moon. What is it? Final Fantasy 2.
But you know what game was great? Street Fighter. They still make that.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Because it's Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the last one I played, I think.
They have Street Fighter 5. I remember
5?
seeing a trailer for it. I don't know if it was out or if it's coming out. But the new Street Fighter 4 even was really good. I liked it a lot.
You know what? I think once they went to Street Fighter Alpha 3, or no, Street Fighter 3 was when my appeal for Street Fighter kind of died down because it was really hard.
Because it had the pairing, right?
No, that's X-Men vs. Street Fighter. That was still easy. You could mash button and still win. But Street Fighter 3, you actually have to know how to like jab and do like weak kicks.
Yeah, the combos and everything.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can do combos for that one.
You can't set them up.
Street Fighter wasn't one of the games that had combos until it came to Street Fighter vs. X-Men.
Well, you can still do like they had like the optimal things like light kick, and whatever. You can set up.
When we're talking about regular, just Street Fighter, it's just punch, kick, or whatever. There's no combos. Back then, for the combo game that you want to play was Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
That game was that was brutal. Showing kids chopping heads and shit like that.
I didn't really like Mortal Kombat though because it was really unrealistic the way that they were fighting.
No, but the characters itself was more realistic than
they looked more
Street
realistic.
Fighter themselves.
Yes.
One guy had 4 arms.
Yes.
Mortal Kombat.
Shit, I can't remember. He had a ponytail though. He was one of the second last boss before sang song or something.
He's basically a Machamp.
Oh yeah.
It's basically a Machamp. Or Machamp is basically him. First of all, before we move on, I just googled the Final Fantasy 4 and there's a remake. I'm gonna totally get an emulator and I'm gonna totally.
They're remaking 4. They're supposed to be remaking 7.
Yeah.
No, this is already remade. Like this was remade.
Are you playing Final
That looks
Fantasy
pretty
Brave?
Huh?
Are you playing Final Fantasy Brave on your phone?
No, what's that?
Final Fantasy, but it's like retro style. It's pretty fun, but you're not really. It's okay. You know what's fun? At the time, I think after Final Fantasy 2, there was more game. Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah, Chrono Trigger.
I loved Chrono
that one was
Trigger.
intense.
I think that was the first game where they had variable endings or stuff like that, right?
Yes.
That was crazy.
You can't get the good one because it's so fucking hard.
There's one where the game ends in like 11 minutes or something, like really, really fast, and it's like the world has ended.
Yeah. But I remember he had those. I think that was one of the first games where when they used their moves, it was actually look epic. I think one of the moves was Luminat.
When they combo their shit together?
No, it's like they have one special move and then it actually takes up the whole screen like in graphics, right? Albeit not good graphics, but it's better than
back
anything
then,
else. Yeah.
Probably amazing.
Did you guys ever play the sequel to that, Chrono Cross?
No.
That was on PlayStation and it had like better graphics.
Yeah.
It was more like Final Fantasy 7 style graphics.
Yeah.
That game was really, really sick too.
Was it?
It was crazy
I
good.
think I heard of it, but now I want to get into the shits Nintendo's actually gone through because you know what, Nintendo's been around a long time and they've had a lot of competition. Because nowadays, what do we have? Xbox and Sony. But back then, it was a completely playing field, right? We had Sega Genesis, which was around the same time as Nintendo and then Super NES, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after Genesis was gone, like I don't know, did they get eliminated?
The Sega, they came out with the Sega Dreamcast, and then that's when it all fell apart because people learned how to pirate.
Yeah, that was competing with the N64, right?
Something around that, yeah.
I think they lost out because they didn't want to use discs like CDs.
Who didn't want to use discs?
Sega.
No, Sega Dreamcast was using discs, and then everyone was not buying games; they're just burning games.
Dreamcast.
Dreamcast was
no,
disc.
they were still using cartridge. No,
they had cartridge as well too for the controllers.
Yeah,
but all the games were on disc. Because I remember
wasn't
playing
that,
like
like,
Power
too late
Stone
by
and stuff
then?
like that.
Was that like early though? I remember there was some reason, like, because the reason why the Sony PlayStation came out and was because they tried to pitch it to other people, right? The people who wanted to make it pitched it to other people, but they didn't want to take the idea because they thought it was crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then they went to Sony and then got part of the Sony Music or something. It was originally part of that like department, and then they eventually had their own gaming section. So I think they went to Sega, and then they didn't want to do it. And then probably late into the game when they're like, okay, let's try to keep up with it.
But you know what?
Yeah, I thought the PlayStation came out before the Dreamcast.
No. It was PlayStation came out shortly after Dreamcast. But you know what? I enjoyed the competition back then compared to now. Because you know, all the systems back then, it was always about the gameplay, right? Like how fun the game is. Now it's about graphics. I remember Sega Genesis, the one game that was extremely fun was Sonic.
Yeah.
But that was probably the only game I can't remember. Was Earthworm Jim on Sega Genesis, or was it Sony PlayStation?
It could have been PlayStation. I remember on Sega Genesis they had Power Stone or whatever, something like that.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
For me, Sega Genesis is pretty much the console that only plays Sonic. That's all I know.
Basically, yeah. That's what they were known for.
Yeah, and now, you know what? It's so sad now that Nintendo is losing out to systems like Xbox and PlayStation because of graphics.
And it's because people are loners these days. They don't like to interact with people.
Well, they interact with them online. So
Yeah.
it's kind of different.
It doesn't count.
Yeah, but Nintendo is so great. It deserves more. And you know, I really hope the Nintendo Switch can bring it back.
That's why I think they're trying to target an audience that probably doesn't exist as much anymore,
Yes.
right?
Because you know what? They tried to do that with the Nintendo Wii, with the new gameplay, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, it was kind of gimmicky.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was fun. But you know what? It did sell a lot, but then it died down real fast.
Because they don't have more engaging games. Their games are like the same thing. Like I remember going to my sister's place. She has a Wii.
Yeah.
It was fun at the beginning, but then there's no like after you played it a few
It's
times.
repetitive.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
the style of the games are all repetitive.
Do you think Nintendo should have downloadable content as well?
They do,
They
for the
do?
Wii, yeah. Because I played like Just Dance, I played a couple like Rock Band and everything like that.
Oh, that's
And
different though.
Those
That's
ones didn't have
songs.
DLC, yeah.
But then there's like other games like you practically need to download something to like beat the game.
No, that's a bullshit.
Well, I don't think it's to that extent, but
It's very tricky what they need to do. I think they need to improve their games and as well as their hardware.
I'm
Yeah,
not
like more
too
powerful
concerned
hardware?
about the hardware.
are you saying they need to have more powerful graphics and sell it to like systems like Xbox and PlayStation?
Yeah, because you don't want to have two consoles, right? Because like no one's gonna have two consoles unless you have an excess amount of money, right? Average
Yeah.
person would have one. So if you have a choice, which one are you gonna choose, right? The one that most likely has the most common games to everyone else that is playing, or the one that has these gimmicky games.
Well, here's the thing, like between Nintendo, the reason why I really like Nintendo products and I'm not a big fan of Xbox or PlayStation is because anything that you can do on the Xbox or the PlayStation, you can also do on your PC. But there's a ton of games on the Wii that you cannot play anywhere else other than on the Wii. Like their platform is designed to play those games,
Yeah,
right?
because only they have the move. No, wait, they're not the only one that has the.
They're
movable.
not, but I guess just the style of their games,
Yeah.
the way it's set up, like a lot of the games are intended for you to come together to play, and that's what I like, and that's what I think consoles should be.
Yeah.
It should be a system that brings people together rather than have them like it's another computer basically. Xbox and PlayStation are just an overhyped
You know,
computer.
think about gameplay. Do you think Nintendo should have went the way Sony PlayStation went with the VR?
I was gonna mention that because I feel like if they don't try to keep up with that, they're gonna fall so far behind. And when that thing goes big, because it's still a few years away from being big, so they still have time before the hardware is necessary, right?
I mean, they definitely went a different route in terms of their VR and augmented reality type play style versus Xbox and
I mean, they have none. Is that their style? Is have to have none.
well, they use the stupid controller, right? It detects the controller movements. Like if they went with the Kinect route, and PlayStation 360 or I don't know what they call it. Their virtual reality
Xbox
stuff.
360. You just mashed two systems together.
Well, whatever the system was that detects movements and
yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's the they use the camera to
Yeah,
kind of
that's
model-
exactly.
it models out your human body.
It's actually
Like-
it works out pretty good.
I
very
have to
smart.
say, like the Xbox and Sony did really well in that area, whereas the
No,
Wii they kind
Sony
of came
didn't
out with
do
it
it well.
first.
They had the eye, but I don't ever hear anything about it.
Well, I don't think they really made any games specifically for the eye, right?
Oh,
they just
yeah.
used games that already had it, like the Just Dance and stuff like that. But the Nintendo, they kind of wanted to go into that route, but they just did it a different way, and I think they chose the wrong way to do it, maybe.
They also don't. So in terms of the Xbox One, I've met some of the developers who actually worked on the image recognition stuff. So they actually let the community make it better too. I feel like Nintendo's just
open source type of thing.
I just want to mention Billy is in IT, so him meeting these type of people is quite normal.
yeah. So it's kind of like instead of it being in their own company, they just let other people help them, and they have a system called like a MVP at Microsoft, and then let other big developers just go at it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's how they got their system so like refined and so it works out so well.
All right, so after all this, what's the likelihood of you buying the system?
I would say it's a 50% chance for me. Like,
so
compared to the PlayStation and like Xbox, I would definitely not get those systems.
Yeah.
But there is a much higher chance that I will get a Nintendo game or a system, console, depending on how well they make their games.
Billy?
I am probably not going to get it. I'm probably going to wait for you to get it, Wayne, and come over. So
I really want to get it.
I'm going to try to like slowly brainwash you by dropping small pictures of the Switch. But I think, I don't know, it just doesn't have enough for me. Like, Nintendo stuff just doesn't have enough.
But do you think the Nintendo Switch is enough to bring Nintendo back? Because you know what? I think if they fail with this, I don't know if this is coming back for them. I know I hear their shares been going up after Pokemon Go, even though they don't own Pokemon Go apparently.
But they own the rights to Pokemon though.
Yes.
So they're gonna get royalties off that.
Well, I don't know.
They should.
Yeah, that's true. They own the branding.
Yeah.
But I heard, you know what? After the Nintendo Switch was announced, their stock price actually went down.
It's probably because investors are all like Xbox and Sony players. They want the powerful hardware.
Okay, I want to talk about like I came upon this online from Forbes. They have 5 questions that would need to be addressed to determine what's the likelihood this is going to be a success. Billy, you want to read the first question?
All right. So the first one they asked is, "What is the battery life?"
What do you think would be
best?
Man,
the portableness. I think it has to be like at least a laptop. Like it has to be like 8 hours at least.
But it's a small unit still.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it has a lot of battery in it.
Although it's a home console, it's still a small unit because it still has to stay small for it to be portable. Otherwise, you're carrying a giant piece of equipment, right?
Yeah.
Because so what I read was, even though they have a big screen, there shouldn't be any touchscreen involved. So that will save...
Yeah, that'll save the battery life.
Yeah, a little bit. But
I wonder what the resolution is going to be then. Because some people are crazy. They want like intense pixel density.
Yeah, with today's technology, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like amazing. But then because Nintendo...
What if it's like 720p on that thing?
Hi, Billy. Do you remember the games you play on Nintendo? Graphics aren't that intense.
I know, but do you see our phones and how much crap pixels they can fit in that?
But how long do you think the battery would need to last? Let's say, so you're playing the game, it's fully charged, and you need to head out and you want to finish this game. How long do you need this system to last while you're out? Also, before you get bored outside.
For myself personally, I think if it lasted 6 hours, I would be okay. Because I'm thinking like, if I go on a road trip or somewhere and I'm not driving, I want it to last for that drive.
Yeah, I would like it maybe... Yeah, 6 hours is okay after like wear. I would like the initial one to probably be like 8 to 10. Because I'm imagining on a flight, right? Because one of their advertising on the video was on a flight. And I imagine using that and hopefully, roughly, if you fly Asia-ish, that's going to be like 12 hours, 14 hours. So
you want 14
But some of those flights have chargers.
Yeah, they have chargers. So you want to initially run it and then, because you're not going to play for the full flight.
Another thing too is like, is this only going to be a video game console system, or can it also store movies? Can it store music?
I don't think I need that.
Because if it did do that, then yeah, it would need a longer battery life.
You probably need to hack it, like with the DS. True. With the R4 and shit like that.
Yeah, I hope they don't restrict that. I hope they have actually a browser and everything.
I think I'm so scared it's gonna only last 3 hours.
Yeah,
it's
realistically, realistically, it probably will only last 3 hours.
Playing on your phone. Once you play a intense game, your phone's not gonna last. This is the big unit with the big screen, and unless it has a really heavy battery in there, it's not gonna last long. So Nintendo, talk to Elon Musk, hook you up with a really powerful battery, and you're set.
It actually doesn't look that big. It looks like it's...
Oh shit, you're right.
7 inches?
Yeah, maybe 8, maybe.
And it's a thick device, so that could be where all the juice is coming from, right?
Yeah.
Like your phones are not that thick, and it has really good graphics already.
You know what would be funny? If it's actually smaller than this, all the people in this commercial have really small hands. So it makes it look bigger.
But you know what? Like, if they have like the micro USB ports and everything like that too, like all of you guys bought fucking power banks for Pokemon Go anyways. You're good
Yeah,
to go.
true.
I didn't buy one. I don't know, man.
Well, you know what? Fuck you too, Billy. You didn't waste your money, okay?
It's a part of their strategy. Launch Pokemon, make everyone buy a portable battery,
Yeah.
then launch the Switch so they already have the battery.
Geniuses.
Alright, Bill,
Oh,
next
man.
question.
I see you, Nintendo.
Alright, next question. Wait, on the battery though, question. What do you think about the heat though? You think it's gonna heat up too? Because usually if
Should.
you're gonna put up a bigger battery or a smaller battery,
Yeah.
it depends on the density size, the heat has to dissipate somehow, right?
You know, include a heatsink.
Yeah, but then the thickness goes up.
Not really. It'll just be waves of metal sheets. Right?
Yeah. So next question is how much will it cost?
It has to be cheap because of Nintendo.
How
How
much
much would you be willing to pay for it?
Because it's Nintendo and because I'm cheap, $250. That's not realistic.
$250 is I think
would be realistic for a
Is-
Nintendo
yeah.
system,
I
right?
think that's really
Because
realistic.
historically, Nintendo systems have been on the cheaper spectrum of all the consoles, right? You got the Xbox and Sony PlayStation now hitting what, $400 or $500 now?
yeah, but $250 for the base without a controller. That's what I think. Just for the dock and the tablet.
So you can't play it.
Well, you have the Switch controllers, the
Yeah,
tiny
you have
little
that.
ones,
Oh, then-
but not the actual full
Oh,
controller.
that?
Yeah.
I think that's fair. You know what? I was thinking
I'll just
$200.
deal with it.
I was thinking $200, but I was thinking of it only as a portable device. But when you mentioned console, I was like, oh yeah, it is a console. $250 is reasonable.
I think $250 minimum if they ever get the cheapest possible way down.
Yeah.
But I think realistically it's going to be $450
Yeah, because you know there's a lot of stuff involved in it now. Because
because it's new
there's,
too.
there's a screen
Yeah.
involved. Because you know how much does it cost to buy a tablet nowadays? It's still like a few $100, right?
But they're so smart because the games come in cartridges, so you have to
Oh.
buy their cartridge games. That's
gonna
where
get-
they're gonna make
no,
their money.
that's gonna
You know,
get
I loved-
hacked. like the DS one.
Oh yeah. You know what? Back in Nintendo, there was always this one game you could buy that's like 250 games.
Yeah.
True.
It's not fun games though. It's like it has to be like enough to fit on that one card. Because of how people perceive Nintendo, it can't be too expensive. It has to be cheap because no one associates high cost with Nintendo. If it's too high, everyone's just gonna brush it off and they'll be like, "Fuck it."
Yeah. I think one thing they have maybe if it's going to be too cheap, they probably haven't thought about is when you pick up a tablet now,
Yeah.
and the ones that are made of brushed metal, they feel really premium. So if you pick up a plastic Nintendo Switch and you look at this, it's going to be like, what the shit is this
that's
garbage?
fine. Especially, you know what? You're gonna have to incorporate a powerful battery.
Not
Oh.
from Samsung.
Oh, not from Samsung, no. Might blow up. You can't even bring it on the plane.
Yeah.
Like, fuck the portability now. Yeah, and then there's all those other little knickknacks, all those, like, it's probably wireless, so it has more components to it.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost quite a bit, I believe. It's not gonna have that $250 price mark.
Yeah,
It's
you gotta
gonna
pay,
have
someone has to pay for the
$450.
R&D of it.
Okay, what's next? So it has to be cheap. Just saying.
How extensive is the third-party support? So,
Who's making games for Nintendo now? Is
Uh,
Capcom still making it?
They do, yeah.
So Capcom, that's all you need. Street
well,
Fighter.
they have a, so I was reading up on it. Apparently, NVIDIA made them a custom kind of library for it. So it's hopefully will be easier for people to make games for it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they have a current issue with like different companies making games for them. Maybe that's why like a lot of like those big companies don't port over their games to Nintendo, or it's a hardware constraint. But NVIDIA is supposed to like because they made the size of the chip custom for that Switch. So hopefully it'll be
That's
actually
normal,
good.
because I think it's just a little bit smaller than the DS cartridges, right? Since the DS isn't that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look pretty similar in size.
Oh, you guys are talking about cartridge. I was talking about the software side of things.
What?
I was talking about the software and how like NVIDIA made their custom Tegra chip for the Switch.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, fine, whatever. All right, whatever.
All right, next question.
All right, next thing. Is it comfortable?
It looks horrible in that area. 'Cause, you know, it's just a flat surface. You know what? Looking at Nintendo history right now, all the controls have just been a flat surface.
All the controllers really suck, except for the
Super NES.
64.
Oh, 64.
Yeah,
No,
the 64
I think the
was-
64 was dumb too.
no,
I
it was
liked a
better.
lot.
It was better than no. I like
It's
the
so
no.
thin.
I like the GameCube one.
Can't
I didn't
remember.
like the
I never.
GameCube.
You know what? I don't
Isn't
think I played the GameCube.
The
Well, I played
GameCube
a few
one
times.
was the closest one to like the Xbox and PS4 controllers. It was a bit bigger, so you can hold
I
it
don't
better.
get why can't they just fucking make a small little curve? If the 64, if those controls didn't extend so far out,
Maybe they like giving people carpal tunnel syndrome. Like maybe this is what they like to do.
same with PlayStation. I hate their controller too. I get carpal tunnel syndrome from that.
I like the PlayStation controllers.
Oh, but
No, the-
Xbox is the best. No, but
I was a big fan of the PS3, PS2 controllers.
they're the same controllers.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a bit different in groove. A bit like this.
Slightly.
Yeah,
It's
it's
very
a
slight.
slight difference. But
Yeah, they
very,
said it's
very
different, but I don't
similar.
see it. I
Very,
think it's just
very
mainly
similar.
cordless and it has a screen.
The cordlessness. Oh man, that was great.
A little slow on it though, because
Yeah, sometimes it's
Xbox.
slow, yeah,
but you know,
sometimes.
cordless isn't that great. No, the worst part is when you for the Switch when you do the multiplayer. And
Who's
you
this
have the small little shit.
Who is this random guy?
What?
Who is this guy?
I guess he's the creator.
Maybe he's Pokemon Sun and Moon confirmed live.
We're looking at a picture of this Japanese dude. I'm assuming he's Japanese. I don't want to sound racist.
He's probably Japanese. We googled Nintendo Switch, and it is just random Japanese guy.
I'm a Pokemon Sun and Moon, because that's the big thing now.
Oh, maybe he's a Pokemon creator.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's probably why he's Japanese. Fuck, Billy, what were we talking about again?
I don't know, but moving
The
on.
controller when you play multiplayer.
In all aspects of this console, except for the home, when you're playing home, because it actually looks like a red controller, but portability is just a flat surface. And I guess even worse when you do multiplayer, you have half of it, and it's like, you better have very tiny hands. Like, the size of friggin' Deadpool's head after he got chopped up.
The baby hands?
Yeah. I really hope they improve on that. Or at least give us buy a skin for it to add some extra grooves or something.
Yeah. Next question is, how useful is the mobility gimmick?
The thing is, it's not that small. Right? Looks pretty.
I don't know, man.
It's like a tablet.
I think everyone in the...
If you can carry an iPad around, you can carry a Switch around.
An iPad mini. Not just an iPad. You gotta get the mini. They probably chose that. They probably chose that size for the portability reason.
I hope so, but will they eventually make it even bigger just to accommodate a bigger battery?
I really hope they do, because...
Maybe they'll just get a battery pack.
And it's gonna be really heavy, and then you're really gonna need a duffel bag to carry the shit around. What's the last?
I wrote the specs.
It's Nintendo. It's not gonna have great specs.
I want to believe that they are going to keep up with everyone else.
They're not. It's Nintendo.
I know. That's why it's so disappointing.
The day they come out with a powerful system to have high spec, is when no one's gonna buy because it's gonna cost too damn much.
1080p.
Yeah.
No 4K.
You don't need high specs for this. Well, I guess that's all we have to talk about the Nintendo Switch, which I'm still fucking hyped about. And fuck Billy for all his negativity today.
It's more realistic perspective on it, because I think it's going to be disappointment. I think if the stocks did drop, it's probably because they assess the market, and the market says you need powerful shit and you need to keep up with people.
You know what? That might be true. Still, I would love if I have a friend that buys it. So
you
no,
Wade,
man.
you're gonna buy it. You're gonna buy it, and I'm gonna come over, and then I'm gonna play it.
I'm saying now, because I don't think I'm gonna get it. All right. I think that's all we have to talk about today.
Okay, so anyways, just to wrap it up, you guys need to go and switch back your monitors. Go over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, share this with your friends, please. Help us get to 100 subscribers, and give us some feedback on how we did, what you guys want us to do to improve.
Wait, Dan, were we supposed to talk about weekly douchebags?
Maybe in the next episode.
Next week.
Peace, guys.